Making lures is both an art and a science. You have to have the artistic ability to create your designs, to come up with the right colors. It's definitely an art, but a lot of science involved as well. You start out with good quality components. You assemble it with care and craftsmanship, and in the end, it is not only pleasing to you, but is functional. Patience and concentrated effort are going to end up with a lot better lures than if you just rush into something. It's amazing how much focusing on lures and eliminating all the clutter in your mind can give you a peaceful rest of the day. When you look a lot at the lures I've got, there's a lot of stuff there that you can't find anywhere because they're custom. All the CS components that I use for the paints, they've got a really complete selection of most of the colors that fishermen like to use. But there are some subtle blendings I use sometimes on special waters for certain species that it always depends on water clarity, depth, light intensity, the species, what colors that they like naturally. Contrasting colors can be a big thing because they can see those more easily under certain light conditions. So every place you go, the fishing is a little different, and the species are different, and the way you fish for them is different. So a lot of the stuff I accumulated over the years has been to take advantage of the local opportunities and not to have to use everywhere in the country, because there's no one size fits all. On websites and in other areas, I am known as Tube Dude because I fish out of a float tube. It's not that I'm going down the tubes, at least I'd hope not. And my wife, who is a very accomplished fisher person in her own right, she's called Tube Babe, so that's a good tie-in. My favorite memory on Utah Lake, I have many, but probably one of my best is setting out in my float tube at daybreak, watching the sun come up, listening to the different species of birds as they wake up and make all their noise, seeing birds swimming around, other animals swimming around, and even a few other fishermen out there that I know and recognize. But just the total experience of being on the lake at sunrise is probably my favorite part of it. What does the sunrise look like on Utah Lake? Well, it depends on what part of the lake you're on, but the biggest part of it is the sun coming up behind the mountains, and if there's a few clouds in the sky, the bright orange, the rays of sun. You got Mount Timpanogos in the background always with or without snow. It's pretty both ways, but there are no ugly sights looking across Utah Lake when the sun is coming up. It's just a beautiful place to be. How old was I when I started fishing? I am told it was about 4 years old. As a kid in Idaho, I was taken up to Henry's Lake, and I have pictures of me and my little tidy whiteys holding up 2 4-pound trout. How does fishing make me feel? It's a combination of relaxation, competition, me and the fish. There are a lot of different emotions, but by and large, it's what I call a brain broom. What is my favorite fish to catch and or eat? Probably walleye, number one. And that's a combination of the fact that they're very difficult to catch, so they're a challenge. And number two, they're one of the best eating fish on the plate once you catch them. But I'm not a snob. I keep and consume just about every species of fish that there is at one time or another. What is my connection to Utah Lake? Well, probably goes clear back to when I first started fishing Utah Lake in 1961. I was just a young guy. And now I'm an old guy, and then I've grown old with Utah Lake, and I've seen a lot of changes in Utah Lake as with myself, but it still treats me well, and I treat it well, and we have a mutual admiration society going. If somebody was thinking about going to the Utah Lake and they asked me about it, I would tell them that it's pretty much up to them what they get out of their experience, but they should disregard a lot of the false information that's circulated about the lake. It's not polluted. It's very clean. It's good fishing. It's good boating. It's good everything. Water levels and potential algae problems are about the only things that create a negative from time to time. Other than that, anybody that wants to use a lake can find something to do. What makes Utah Lake my favorite? Well, besides the history that I have with Utah Lake, and if I were to compare it with all of the other lakes, it has more variety of places to fish, bottom contours, species of fish, different kinds of fishing at different times of the year than almost any of the other lakes. I fish Deer Creek Reservoir. I fish Starvation Reservoir. I used to fish Yuba Lake a lot. I fish Willard Bay Reservoir a lot still. But I like to go where I've got the best chance of having a good fun day, catch a few fish, save a little on gas by not having to drive too far. There are a whole lot of reasons why Utah Lake usually gets my vote. First and foremost, I like to catch catfish. I like to catch big catfish. There's no other lake in Utah that produces any bigger, better catfish or faster action than Utah Lake. But while I'm fishing for catfish, I also catch the walleye, the white bass, and the other species there. So I almost always have a good day and catch a lot of fish, even if I don't always catch the biggest catfish that I've caught in the last year. Well, Utah Lake is my lake because it is my lake. And I can fish any place I want. I'm retired. I can go any place I want. But it's close. It always rewards me with fish. I can't remember the last time I was skunked there. And there's always the aesthetics of the scenery to look at. So it's everything I want in a fishing experience.